everybody to the first of what we hope to be a regular series of project briefings and project showcase events that we will do over the course of 2023. The aim of these events is to bring people up to speed with what we're doing in the Smart Trade Networks community, but more importantly than that, showcase some of the really interesting and exciting projects that are now coming on stream, being developed within our broader distributed ledger ecosystem. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Warwick Powell. I'm the founding chair of Smart Trade Networks, and I'll kick today's proceedings off with a very, very short update from Smart Trade Networks' point of view at a macro level, and then pass it over to the hero of today's briefing, which is the team from the Digital Records project. The briefing basically has 5 parts. I'm just going to run through with you what is in effect the first 3 parts over the course of the next few minutes, and then pass it over to Kangle and Tony, and then we can wrap up with some questions and discussion towards the end of today's show. In terms of the work that we've been doing since our last briefing, we've largely focused around a couple of core aspects. For those of you who attended last time, you'll know that we were undertaking a back office tidy up in terms of the organisational structures that sit behind the global group that is Smart Trade Networks, and that work has now progressed to a point where we have been undertaking some back office equity consolidations and things like that. That's mainly of interest to those who obviously have been part of the investment journey to date. But what it does mean is that we have some very clear organisational structures and ownership structures around assets and intellectual property and the partnerships that we're entering into, which will make it easier for people to interact with and engage with the Smart Trade Networks ecosystem into the future. We've also got continued work from the teams in South Africa and North America in particular, where the industry awareness is being driven in a whole range of areas, ranging from wine through to property, seafood, other food categories and things like that. And we look forward to the progressive expansion of the sales pipelines coming through those channels. Probably the most interesting new thing, if you will, is that we have formed a joint venture with a Gold Coast-based business, Refactor, to work together to develop a family of regulation technology initiatives that we will hopefully progressively roll out over the course of the next, over the near future. And that will cover off on a broad range of areas where there are significant compliance requirements as far as documentation is concerned, where system integrity and information integrity sits at the heart of the system. So I'd just like to thank the team at Refactor, Steve and Regan and others, for the work that they've already been doing, and you'll actually get to see some of that today when the Digital Records team presents. The last piece on the commercial and community update really goes to some further back office work we've been doing to get our legal frameworks and onboarding work processes fine-tuned to support the expansion of supply chain integrity champions at a global level. So opportunities will emerge now for people and organisations around the world to partner with Smart Trade Networks and our ecosystem to bring the things that we've been working on to the marketplace for mutual benefit. And there'll be things that will come into a little bit more detail, probably at our next briefing. In terms of research and development, which has been the foundations of our entire approach, we continue to work closely with teams at Queensland University of Technology, where much of our foundational research and development was undertaken over the last 3 to 4 years. We continue to work closely with university collaborators, and we're currently part of, I think, 5 R&D grant initiatives, which hopefully will be able to secure at least one of those. So fingers crossed on those fronts. Most of those relate to questions around supply chain data integrity as well. We're also currently working with our Aqualedger project, which is the team focused on the Indian Ocean tuna fishery, to develop a project scope for progressing with the Marine Bioproducts Cooperative Research Centre, which also involves multiple universities across Australia. And we'll have something more to say about that, hopefully in a couple of months' time. We've just finished wrapping up a small R&D project with a research team at University of South Australia on bush tucker supply chains, and reports and other things are coming out of that very, very shortly. And last but not least, as many of you know, we have a sister project, if you will, in the health IoT space with a wearable ear set, and we're progressing some opportunities with Edith Cowan University on that in terms of application cases within workplace environments, particularly focused on fatigue management. In terms of our broader suite of products and services, we have been finalising some updates to our foundational track, trace and trade product suite, and that service suite is now available and is being deployed in market with our distribution partners. We'll have some further updates on that over the course of the next few months, ultimately with a view to launching a fully refreshed asset view towards the third quarter of this year, which will enhance consumer experiences. That will tie into the work we've been doing around the QR code space, where we have now integrated some new features in terms of how we can use QR codes to deliver enhanced consumer experiences around products, as well as deliver management data to clients as well. We've also been working on the compliance technology suite, which I mentioned earlier, with the team at Refactor and others, and that's actually a very exciting area for us. Smart Trade Network started its journey really focused around supply chain data integrity, and documentation and forms and checklists really sit at the heart of how many supply chains work. And as we've gone about our journey over the last few years, what's become apparent to us is that whilst we often think digital, the real world of supply chains is often still very analog, and bringing those processes and systems through a digitalization journey has been part of our focus. So I think some of the things we've been working on with Steve and Regan and others will streamline our ability to deliver some fantastic and simple to use solutions into the market in the course of 2023. The other piece of cornerstone services, if you will, that we've been working on relates to introducing eKYC. So for those of you who don't know, KYC is Know Your Client. It's typically related to identity verifications and has been a cornerstone feature of regulated financial environments in many countries around the world, and in fact has been pivotal to the ways in which financial services and blockchain related infrastructure and services are rolled out. So being able to integrate an eKYC capability, which will stretch across multiple countries, will, I think, bring many of our solutions to a very high regulatory compliance standard right across these markets. The last and definitely not least, because I'm going to wrap up in half a tick, is the education certification on blockchain project, which has been actually flying over the last 3 to 4 months. And Kangle, the founder of the project, reminded me the other day that when you look back on the original deck for the project, we are actually ahead of deadlines on most things, which, to be honest with you, is quite a remarkable feat in this game. It rarely happens. So the fact that we are ahead of timetable at the moment is a testimony to the work of the entire team. So look, that's the broad picture of where we're at from a Smart Trade Networks point of view. But without further ado, I am going to pass it over to Kangle and Tony from the Digital Records team to actually run us through where that project is at. And in effect, I think today, kick off with what is a soft launch for the project globally. So I'll unshare my screen and I'll pass it over to you guys, and you should be able to share.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Warwick and the STN team, for putting this together. Let me first share my screen. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Warwick. Thank you so much for putting this together. And I just want to quickly introduce myself. I'm very excited. Thank you everybody for being here. My name is Kangle. Today I want to tell you a little bit about me, a little bit about my company, and the product that we're pushing now today. So my name is Kangle. I'm the CEO and the product manager here at Digital Record. I'm a serial entrepreneur based out of Austin, Texas, and San Francisco, California. Today, I want to, introduce Digital Record, along with introducing a future where truth are only a touch away. A future where people like George Santos, the Long Island House of Representative who lied about his Harvard degree, will never be elected. So starting off, I want to tell you about my business partner, Tony, who's also here today. Tony, who has been a top-level headhunter and an immigration attorney for the past 2 decades, had to deal with thousands of these fake credentials during his career. And he told me, that, I was shocked. And he told me the reason why. He told me that it's because we're still relying on paper and PDF files today for verification purpose in the era of Photoshop. Now, Tony told me that once upon a time, before I was born, in 1993, when PDF first came out, it was a source of truth, as the people at the time did not have the access or the knowledge to use tools like Photoshop. It was too technical. It's like coding AI or something like that, equivalent back in the day, I guess. But today is a different day. Today I can Photoshop anything straight from my phone in the next few seconds without much training. And not only that, fraudulent credentials can be bought like what you see on the screen here. You can buy them by just typing in the college name plus diploma. You're going to see a lot of fake diploma advertisement, but also through a lot of corruptions and briberies involving school officials worldwide. Now, these corrupted officials are normally very difficult to identify due to the complicated organizational structures and lack of reliable record tracking technologies in a lot of institutions. A lot of us sitting here today, most of us are sitting here from very developed countries like United States, Australia. We might think that this is not something that potentially has much to do with us, but surprisingly, not only 4 weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago, there was 7,600 fake nursing diplomas being discovered in Florida that was issued exactly through this manner. So this is a very serious problem, and this is a problem that undermines the integrity of the education system and puts the public at risk. If you're talking about medical credentials, that's life and death situation. It's very serious. So every single day today, there are tens of thousands of fake credentials being submitted to qualify for permanent visa, jobs, loans, and degree programs that a lot of people did not qualify for. Now, according to Forbes, the fast-growing degree mill industry is doing an estimate of $7 billion today worldwide in fraudulent credentials and transcripts, fraudulent transcript. So from this, we can clearly tell that rely on paper and PDF documents for issuance and verification will continue to create these opportunities for corruption and unfairness. Now, to this point, I want to bring on Tony, our lovely business development lead who lives in Gold Coast, Australia, to share some of the insights that he has gotten talking to the stakeholders in the industry. Tony, can you share some of the great experiences and the insights that you have gotten from chatting with our lovely stakeholders?
I would call that, thank you, Kangle, but I would call that interesting experience, over 20 years of seeing all sorts of documents. Yes, it is true, as you mentioned, I did actually spend 20 years of my career in this problem space. I worked in recruitment, I worked in international relocations, I dealt with immigration from various countries. And it's actually absolutely amazing to be now in this current role and looking back and comprehending the magnitude of the problem. So I can absolutely confirm that PDF was, wow, long time ago, very trusted. And actually, yes, before you're born. And actually, I just Googled it today. First time I Googled about PDF. And you can find today, you can find information that PDF is, I'll just read this on my computer. PDF is a format used when you need to save files that cannot be modified. So that's it. That's as of today. Saying this, we understand when we identify this as a global document management evolution. We have current technology development that's opening pathway to implement next level of digital trust. And it's also true. Key business decisions in many countries, or probably all the countries on the planet, are still being made every day based on non-verified documents. And here is where we come in. Digital record is here to step into this process of change and bring the mission. We believe that we bring fairness, opportunities back to humanity. Or I like to say we are here to shape the future world of digital trust. Back to you, Kangle.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for sharing the insight. Because normally, Tony and I would always have these type of conversations, and I'm always fascinated because sometimes Tony just have so much more experience than I have in life, and being a professional like that, dealing with a lot of credentials that way. So thank you so much, Tony, for sharing that. Now what I really want to do is that we have talked about the problem. We have talked about the challenges that we're facing in the educational system today. What is the solution, right? And that's what we want to really get into today, is that we want to introduce our latest digital record product, the tamper-proof blockchain-backed credential, ultra secure, fully digital, and fully traceable. Before I go further, and you can see this screenshot on the screen. Before we go any further explaining how it works and everything, I want to say that we're very proud to say that our product is a result of a collaboration and support from some of the most prominent researchers, such as Professor Warwick Paul from Queensland University of Technology, as well as other researchers from the industry and other educational providers. Their expertise and contribution have been really invaluable in the development of our product to ensure that it meets the highest standard of quality, reliability, and effectiveness. With their support, we're very confident. We're very confident that our product is one of the most advanced out there in the field and will help address the problems, the critical challenges faced by our educational system. And we're committed to continuing our collaboration with the leading researchers, experts in the field to ensure that our product remains the forefront of innovation and excellence in this particular aspect. Now, getting back to the certificate right here, you can see right here from the certificate perspective, as a certificate issuer, it's very easy to use and it has a lot of benefits. And this is how it works. First, you see this picture right here, this screenshot's right here on the left-hand side. This is the issuer's portal. So the issuer, whether it's the education provider or it's the accreditation agency, you will upload the credential, the recipient credential, onto the digital record web platform, the informations of it, and you will click issue to issue these blockchain-backed credential. Once you click it, it will issue automatically onto the blockchain, as well as notify the students. So the students would receive this credential via an email, a link to their email, which is really convenient and really cool. And for the student, they love this because one of the things that the credentials that we have issued to the students that they love to do is to show up on LinkedIn. They like to list their credentials on LinkedIn. All you need to do is to add a license or certificate, and you input information and you copy the link to the credential on here, and it works. So this is one thing they love, on top of the fact that they just don't have to ever pay for a replacement or wait for the shipment when it comes to losing their credential or have to reorder their transcript, etc. And one of the things I want to note is that on this portal for the issuers, for education providers, and they're looking for a vendor do-it-all solution, we also provide a turnkey solution that literally does it all for you. With our full service version, the education provider only need to upload the recipient credential information in a single file, something like Excel or CSV file, onto our DR portal, and Digital Record will take care of the rest from there. So from the verifier's perspective, as a verifier, whether you're a employer, government agent, or admission officer, you will be able to instantly verify the credential with confidence. And you can even look under the hood of the credential if on the blockchain scan to ensure its integrity. And this is how it works. So on our certificate page here, you can authenticate and view the details of this particular certificate by looking at the issuer's address and the transaction hash. And if you want to verify further, you want to go on the blockchain itself to verify this, you can click View on Blockchain, which will take you straight to the STN block scan, where you can see all the nitty-gritty details under the hood of this particular credential. And you can check right here. You can see the from and to. The from is the wallet address, public key of the issuer, which is you cannot hack this. You can unless they literally give it to you, but there's no way that you can replicate this. And this is where things gets interesting. You can't fake this one right here. Now, before we get into the future roadmap, what I really want to do is that I want to share you guys. I talk about the product, I talk about how it works and everything. I want to show you in flesh. I want to show you in action. So let me first stop sharing our screen here so I can reshare our screen with sound. So you can hear the sound of our demo. Hi there, my name is Kangle, the product manager here at Digital Record. Today, I want to walk you through our portal where you will be able to issue and manage these tamper-proof blockchain-backed credentials from. Whether you're a education provider, accreditation agency, if you want to stay with our do-it-all-for-you service. Oh, sorry. About agency blockchain-backed credentials from. Whether you're a education provider, accreditation agency, if you want to stay with our do-it-all-for-you service, you can, where we literally do it all for you. You do not have to worry about any of these. But if you're still interested, feel free to stay and watch this demo. So the first thing that you will need is a MetaMask wallet. A MetaMask wallet basically serves as your unique identifier on a blockchain. And it's very easy to get. If you run into any trouble, feel free to contact us because we can definitely help you with that. Now, once you have that, we took care of the rest, made it really easy. Sign up and log in. That's it. So once you have an account with us, you can click sign in. I have an issuer's account, so I can issue these qualifications. So all you need to do is very simple. All you need to do is to put in the program name, description, criteria, links, these informations about it, and then you can save the program information so you will not have to re-input this later. And you do the same for issuer's information. And you upload the diploma, you upload the qualification here. So let's see which one is good for uploads. Right here, uploaded the demo, and you can send it to a student's email or you can send it to a student's wallet address. In this case, for demoing purpose, I'll send it to myself. Issue. And once it's issued, your job as an issuer is basically done. And now the platform will automatically issue successfully. It will automatically put it on the blockchain, issue it, and notify the students, which is really cool. So the student here, you can see that they instantly get an email notification and get access to their certificates. This is mobile friendly as well. You can click on your mobile. You can see all the information, including the important information such as the transaction hash, the issuer's address, which is this is the address where people cannot fake. And if you want to verify further as a verifier, you can even view on blockchain to see what's under the hood. Go in the transaction, you will be able to see who exactly issued this. And this is the address of the issuer. This is your unique identifier. No one will be able to get this unless you give it to them. So a lot of students that we have seen is that they love to show off their credentials. And one of the providers that we're working with is Simply Agile. I actually took the Agile course from them. One of the things is that you can list your certificates on your LinkedIn by copying this credential, and you come here and you just put it in, right? In this case, I'm not going to change it, but save. People will be able to see the credential automatically, be able to verify and everything. So this is really, really cool for a lot of the students. They love this feature, on top of that they will never have to pay for a replacement or wait for the shipment. And bear in mind, every single day we're getting feedbacks. That's why we're showing these demos today. By the time that you put your hands on this, it's gonna look even better. So thank you very much for watching the demo. I wish you have a wonderful day. Yes. So Tony, do you think this solved the problem? Do you think this is, according to your expertise, do you think this is a good product? Hold on, Tony, you're muted, I think.
This will change many things in the future, open many doors, and bring the fairness and opportunities to many. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I hope everyone is happy now.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, just imagine that the agencies and the employers starting to really adapt to a standard where they can actually be firm and confident in verifying these credentials that they're getting their hands on when it comes to issuing permanent visa, when it comes to admission officers, giving out the degree admissions to the students. This will really change a lot of things. And this is only the first step. This is barely the first step. This year we're also adding on more features to make the product even more powerful and secure. Right? This is really cool. So I want to tell you guys a couple of the features that we're rolling out soon. By the way, if you notice here on this slide, I should have updated it, but our original projection of the mobile view for certificate and the eKYC is coming out of the Q2. But shout out to Warwick, STN, and the Refactor with Steve. Thanks to the technical team that we actually over delivered. We're still in Q1, and we're already having these features rolling out. In the mobile view is already rolled out, and the other KYC is rolling out in a couple of weeks. So KYC is a feature, know your customer is a feature that background checks and verify the issuers to ensure their identity. This feature will enable us to identify the issuers of the credential and increase the transparency in the issuing process and reduce the chance for corruption. Because when we can identify these people and timestamp everything that they did in terms of record keeping, we won't be able to trace back very easily. Another thing that we're looking to add is biometric verification, which is a cutting-edge way to further enhance the security of our product. By using biometrics, we can provide our users with even greater assurance and confidence in the authenticity and the integrity of a credential that they're dealing with. And we're also very actively working with nonprofit organizations and education to track their financial transactions, such as grants, expenses, etc. The two of the most important type of decisions, really, in an education organization are the one education academic record. Second is the transactions, which will be both covered by our product in the near future. And we're dedicated to develop more features that will keep our product as the market leader. And we're looking forward to continuing to innovate and improve constantly. Our goal is to provide a comprehensive, secure, and user-friendly solution that meets the evolving needs of education industry as well as its stakeholders. Honestly, I think those things are really important to keep in mind, which is secure and user-friendly. Often that, solutions nowadays, they can only pick one, but, we're not willing to sacrifice any one of them. We, working with some of the best researchers and the stakeholders, we were able to balance them and make sure that we have a very secure while it's very user-friendly solution. You can tell that because a lot of Web3 solutions, they're very, very not user-friendly. But I'm glad that we're not that. So, and the next thing I want to share about is that Digital Records edge and its team, really. So our competitive edge really does not only come from our superior product, but also come from our exceptional global team. Because this Digital Records cutting edge design, secure design, is really just the result of hard work from our world-class team. Consists of experts from various industries and fields, including students, professors, researchers, recruiters, and government officials, as well as industry leaders. With a deep understanding of the problem space, our team is well equipped, probably the best equipped to develop innovative solutions like this to revolutionize the education industry and protect the education industry and its stakeholders. Now, let me tell you about a few of them. Even though we cannot cover all of them, I want to tell you about a couple of them. So our Director of Technology and Blockchain, Professor Warwick Paul of Queensland University, was a member of the former Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd's team in the past. And he has worked tirelessly for the past 8 years to bring the blockchain authentication solution to global supply chain, achieving some of very notable success and inspired the team to win several awards. He is also the author of China Trust Digital Supply Chain. You can see the book on his cover profile right now. As a prominent thought leader, Professor Warwick Paul, as a prominent thought leader in the blockchain implementation space, his influence is publicly recognized by many industry publications and academia. We also are very proud to have Steve Grubbs as our advisor. Steve right here, Steve Grubbs was the former Iowa House of Representative and Education Committee Chair, who has passed the biggest funding bill, educational bill in the state of Iowa's history, who's also the CEO of Victory XR, a trusted educational vendor for over 80 US universities, including California State University System. Steve brought a lot of invaluable guidance and connections to our team. Thanks to Steve's expertise in the education industry, we can tap into his extensive knowledge. We actually did a lot, quite often, tap into his extensive knowledge and experience to make these very informed decisions when it comes to developing our product to meet the evolving need of universities and other stakeholders, as he would always share experience of how he built great products for the universities in the metaverse. While we cannot showcase everybody on the team, I think it's worth noticing that our team is the cornerstone of our confidence in delivering secure, practical, and user-friendly designs. We're really confident because we have a team like this. Also worth mentioning Tony, right? Tony, we have already talked about Tony, our very experienced in 2 decades in the immigration and the recruiting industry. So Tony, I want to bring you in again. I want to bring you in again in talking. You have talked to a lot of stakeholders on our behalf. You have a lot of contacts with them in the past couple months.
Yes.
So can you come in here and share with everybody some insights? More insights and feedbacks that you have gotten from talking to the industry stakeholders. What is it like, man?
Yes, thank you, Kangle. Very good presentation from your side. So overall, we understand it's we're dealing with not your average problem here, but I call this global global evolution problem in document management. And we understand authentication of credentials is a global pain point that you can expect to see digital record on every continent very soon. From our point of view, we understand also global student mobility is growing, and we actually decided to focus business development on countries with the high rates of international students. Maybe interesting to share with all of you that this year in 2023, there will be over 6 million students crossing their borders to look and pursue international student experience. So over 6 million internationally. At the same time, we also understand that more and more countries is turning to international education in competition for global talent. So very relevant actually what we do and bring the trust in education industry. The business model, how we started, is combination of direct sales, distribution partners, and resellers. We are fortunate that the founding team, we have a wealth of connections in education industry, and also the highest traction actually from these connections at the start. Aside of that, we're opening opportunities in different countries now with distribution partners. We'll have representative offices, and very happy to share with everyone, just over the last few days, we established partnership, collaboration, and local office in Indonesia and in North Africa. Otherwise, feedback from the field after 2-3 months, establishing contacts. I was in contact already with over 100 education institutions, and overall, I can say I'm extremely pleased that over 70% of education providers, the people I spoke to in these institutions, clearly understand the need for our service. On the other hand, we still have some interesting stories on the meetings when management looked in disbelief when we presented them with information about the fraudulent diplomas in their own institution and how easy it is to obtain one. So in this perspective, I say we can understand that the evolution of this record management will not happen within weeks or months. We are here on a very long run, and lots of efforts will be spent also in the education industry in creating better awareness. We'll do lots of education and actually just bring this problem in the real space for the future. I'm very happy to update you that at this stage we do have, as a traction-wise, we do have already signed collaboration with 3 universities. We have first 4 vocational colleges, and as of today, 8 institutions on the wait list to be implemented this month. So very happy, looks very good. And everyone welcome to connect, contact me or Kangle, and we can organize demonstration of our platform. Back to you, Kangle.
And boom, 150K students, 150K student made available. You know, we're really excited to make available to more university students here or vocational training university students. Wrapping up here, I just want to say that as a project, we're very grateful of all the supports that we're getting. We're backed by some of the biggest players globally, such as Capital Factory, the most active early stage venture fund in Texas, and Smart Trade Network Global, really a leader in technology and blockchain sector. And as Tony has mentioned, we're already collaborating with a lot of universities today, and constantly we're just getting better and better feedbacks, and getting our footprint globally expanded. So I'm very excited. If there's anybody out there that want to talk to us, feel free to talk to us. At the end of the presentation, there'll be a QR code that you can scan to play with one of our certificates today. Lastly, really, if we need to summarize here, the 3 things I want you to remember from today is really, if you take away anything. Number 1, fraudulent credentials are negatively impacting every single one of us. It's like this nasty inflation. It's the nasty inflation. It's impacting every single one of us, even though some of us might not, even realize that it's impacting us, but it is. It is. And second is that it's only getting worse. It's getting worse every single year. Like Forbes has said that this is a fast-growing industry for the diploma mills. If we do something about it, it's only going to get worse. Also with the coming technology of deep fake and AI. Have you guys seen the Joe Rogan the fake advertisement that they get Joe Rogan to speak on selling this drug or something like that? It was so realistic. Highly recommend everybody to check out some of the deep fake videos. It's getting dangerous out there. So that's the second point, which is that it's gonna get tougher if we don't do something to future-proof. And the third point is that we have to come together, not just the technology company, not just the students, not just the education providers, but rather everybody must come together, including people from the legal sector, people from government agencies. That's what we're getting involved today. As a matter of fact, having Steve on our team, we have to come together. All the stakeholders must come together to face this problem and solve this and set the right standard for the future to future-proof not only our educational system, but the people inside this educational system and the life that they're going to live beyond, such as their jobs and etc. So, these are the three main points I really want you to take away. We got to act now. We got to act together. Thank you very much for listening. I'm excited to have further conversation with every one of y'all. Thank you so much, Charles, and we'll take it back to y'all.
Thanks, Kangle. I think everyone can agree that's probably one of the most enthusiastic presentations we've ever had the privilege of watching. It was, great energy from both of you, but I think on top of that, great experience as well. As a team, there's a collective experience there that really knows where it's trying to go. It understands what it's trying to solve in this industry. And I think with the technology we've got out there as a first version, I think we're really ahead of the curve in what we want to deliver and what the market needs. So I think, good congratulations to everybody. So before I open the floor to anybody for questions, got a couple of questions myself, Kangle. So you've spoken a lot about, these fraudulent degrees and how it's affecting things. What industries really suffer the most from this at the moment?
I think that this is when it comes to fraudulent credential, often that people think that it's not a very serious problem, but it is. It is. There's sections like medical space, right? Let's talk about medical space. 7,600 fake nursing credentials being discovered in Florida. We don't know. We really don't have a way to know how much people are being harmed as a result of that, right? I mean that's a big deal when it comes to medical stuff. It's life and death. It could be permanent. It might not be a big deal, but it might be permanent, some of the damages that people have done. But because people don't know that these are people who are holding fake degrees, they just thought, oh, this is just people making a mistake. But really, if we did this process rigorously, we did the right thing, we can lower all these, lower the percentages of the mistake, the chance of people making mistake, and save a lot of people from these very terrible things from happening. So I think medical is definitely a big one of them. Also anything when it comes to legal, finance, right? Those are all really, really important industry to have adequate training to conduct. So I think, there's more, probably more than what I would know, more industry than what I would know that are heavily impacted by this issue.
Yeah, I guess the other thing as well, obviously, it's the issuer's credibility. So how does this impact on education providers as well?
Yeah, so I actually, funny you asked, I actually wrote a very detailed article on my Medium, on Digital Records Medium actually, about this particular issue. Is the education providers' reputation are actually being affected by these fake credentials. Because if you think about it, for universities, fake diploma, fake qualification pose a reputational risk within other academic industries in the workspace. If a postgraduate, if someone graduated and managed to gain an entry to a job or something with a falsified transcript, their performance will be below standard, and the future applicants from the university might be disadvantaged by the association of that, right? And this also poses a threat to university selection criteria, data and privacy policy. as it damages the validity of using these prior academic records as a predictor of success. This is a really big consequence for the universities. And another consequence is that this fraudulent qualification might increase the tendency for the institutions to hire their own people, accepting more students from their own institutions for further studies, employment, rather than recruit from other institutions, because they know that only the people that have been trained in their institution could be trusted. And that's not a good thing. That's definitely not a good thing when it comes to our global world today.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. So you touched on it briefly earlier. How are people buying these fake credentials? Is it just online?
Oh yeah, look at this right here. Look at this right here. You can literally today, you can literally go online right now. Wherever you graduate, you type in your university's name, and you can even do this now. I have tried it with the University of San Francisco, and my intern has tried it with the University of Southern California. That's where she comes from. We tried all these universities, and every single university, you just type in a name, diploma. There's going to be a tons of fake diploma advertisements. You can find these fake diploma on. What's the funny thing, Charles? The funny thing is that you can get them for $70 and they ship on the same day, and they get it to your house faster than the actual degree. I'm sort of bigging out at people, but this is true. I'm sorry. Yes.
All right. Thanks, Kangle. And I guess really to sort of sum up, we got to sort of say, these fake credentials, as you've explained, they really affect everybody. It's something we've got to acknowledge, and collectively through industry, through education providers, through certifiers, we've all got to agree. The time is right, as you said. Let's all do something about it. It is a big problem. It's going to have ongoing impact. It's going to restrict perhaps the movement of overseas students if people have less confidence in what they're doing. So look, I think what you got there is a fantastic product. What we might do is perhaps if you can tell everybody your website address, they can go on there, register any questions. People are welcome to contact either Warwick or myself. We'll put you in contact with Tony and Kangle if you'd like to have a trial. But I think really we've pretty much covered everything up for today.
Yeah.
Unless you got any final comments, Kangle.
Okay, you know what? I want to make a very final comment, guys. I think that this is really great analogy that really lighted me up in the early days of blockchain implementation. Is that credentials are like currencies. If fraudulent currencies are too frictional to verify, people will not verify them. Now, imagine every time you shop somewhere and you get $100 bill, you have to call the Federal Reserve, the central bank, and pay them a small fee to get it verified. I imagine not a lot of people would bother to do that. Now, when individuals find it difficult to authenticate a $100 bill, they would use it as if it's real. And that's what often we do in the economy, because that's what happens. And in the economy, this can lead to inflation and devaluation of those who holds the genuine currency. Now, this is not fair. And why is this not fair? This is not fair to the honest individuals who have worked hard for their money, because we all work hard for our money, while the dishonest individuals can simply just print this money and print these fraudulent currencies. But that's exactly what's happening to our credentials today. We know about money, we know about inflation, but nobody ever really think about this in the credential sense. People have to call the universities or pay a third party and wait for the verification today, which are terrible and unnecessary experiences, really. These experiences are not good, by the way. You call the university, it takes an hour to verify somebody, and they say, hey, we'll come back another day or something like that. It's not fun. And as a result, most people don't verify. And that's causing a devaluation of those who have a genuine credential, and it's causing the educational provider's reputation today, as a matter of fact, and it's only going to get worse. So that's my final comment. And I thought that would be a good analogy to leave off to everybody.
Thanks, Kangle. That's great. Warwick, back to you.
Look, well, incredibly comprehensive, guys. Well done. I guess that's the purpose of a showcase event like this, is to enable us and people who are present and people who will view the video later on to get a bit of a deep dive. So thanks again, Kangle and Tony, for that presentation. There are a few minutes left before we wrap up. So is there anyone here today who might have a question to pose to the guys? Or of course we can follow it up offline anyway, because if not, I'll pull up stumps early, as they would say. Any questions, anybody? Otherwise, well done again. Actually, I'm looking forward to version 2. We're already off version 1. That's all done. That's behind us. But it's great news that you've got traction. I think the proof of the pudding's always in the eating, and for this project to have developed so much momentum over the last 3 months is really testament to Regan at Refactor, to Steve at Refactor, and for Kangle and Tony, who are spending, well, so they tell me, at least 12 hours a day out there talking to people around the world about these problems. So well done to you all, and we'll see you again soon.